fighter. I'm from Jersey. It's known for being like fighters. And I'm also Palestinian, and the village I come from is like fighters, right? We fight each other, like the Hatfields and the boys. So I fought my entire life. I debated my entire life. I was a professionally trained debater who taught messaging, who never let go of my message and knew exactly what my message was. Palestinians deserve equality. We are not born to be killed, and our men are not expendable. And so as the genocide flared up and these images of children being amputated without anesthesia started being all over my screen, I started having conversations with mothers. Has anyone had a conversation, clap for me on this, has anyone had a conversation with a mother that was either ignoring the genocide or for the genocide and you were able to bring them to the light? That's fantastic. Oh my God. So, this is how we do it. It's exhausting, but there's 3 steps. First, you must educate. When I heard that I was coming to Albania, I did research. My research told me it was dangerous. They were going to steal from me. They were going to steal my credit card numbers. I wasn't safe going in there. All right. And then, like, if you say Palestinian, they're like, you know. So I came to Albania and was actually like throwing my pocketbook anywhere. Everyone's really nice. Even though the country is now working on accessibility, it's new for them. Like, people were carrying me around, like the skipper of the speedboat was like, second floor, let's go. Like, it's not what we thought, right? So first you have to educate, even though you feel like, how am I possibly still educating you? You have to do it. So first, when someone across from you chooses to lack humanity, you must educate them. You must make them understand. For me, the starting point that I love is always, killing a child doesn't make you safe ever. It just doesn't make you safe. And trying to convince people this has been the greatest challenge of my message in life. And what I've decided in this conversation is sometimes I have to walk away. And this Christmas was one of the times I had to walk away. I was at the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem, and I had posted that we were not celebrating Christmas because we were physically being bombed. The place where Jesus was born, the oldest Christians in the world, were being massacred, and we were not going to celebrate Christmas. My friends of 45 years that had been my friends since kindergarten, we have a group text. Round of applause if you have a group text. Get out of the group text. The group text will never do anything good. If you're trying to make plans, it gets confusing. And then there's always a side group to the side group of the side group of the side group, talking about the other group. And then you forget which group, and then you send the wrong group the right message because they should actually hear that message. Get out of groups. Anyway, I was in a group with my best friends, Jackie, Tina, Janet, Renee, Athena, Kristen, Lisa. And I apparently ruined Christmas for them. I had kept the Santa secret that whole time, and it wasn't enough. Because me posting on Instagram that we weren't celebrating Christmas really ruined Christmas for them. So I'm sitting in Bethlehem, there's like a drone doing like the buzzy thing here. And I get a group text from my friends that cost me like $1 because they charge you in Palestine apparently. And it says, "You're ruining Christmas. Were you one of those secret Muslims that just pretended to love Christmas?" I was like, oh my God, how am I doing secret Muslim right now? Secret Santa, yes. Secret Muslim, no. So I wrote back and I was like, hey, Jesus was born in Bethlehem and I'm in Bethlehem and they're not celebrating because that massacres. And she wrote back, and I have to tell you this, I spent thousands of dollars on her daughter's confirmation and communion gifts, and apparently they learned nothing. So she told me, no, Jesus was born in my heart. So now I'm a Muslim that has to explain to a Catholic the entire Trinity. So I write back to the group text, well, Jackie, actually, according to history, he was born right here. I have a selfie of me. It's blurry because my hand's shake, but you get the idea, right? I kind of look, well, I'm not going to be insulting, but I did look like Mary Magdalene. Anyway, so Jesus was born in this manger, and then he was crucified. At that point, he leapt into your heart. But this is where he was born. They're getting on. There is no Christmas. And then she said, you told the Pope to put the baby Jesus in a keffiyeh. And then I was like, I wish I had that kind of power. Like, I can't even get a flight back to Jordan. You want me to talk to the Pope? Oh, speaking of which, if anyone here has any pull with the Europeans, I need a transit visa through Greece. Please, someone make it happen. Thank you. So then I realized something. I realized that I was standing in an active war zone, being bombed, and the people that I had considered my best friends for my entire life never asked me if I was okay. Do you see? The conversation ended in that moment. I blocked everyone. 45 years of friendship, and I just went block, 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 block. Goodbye. I can't do it. Because if you're having a conversation that doesn't ever acknowledge the pain or reality of the person across from you, because it makes you uncomfortable, you should leave, not us. First of all, you have no idea what the person across from you has been through. Maybe they had a miscarriage that morning and are still bleeding. Maybe they can't afford another round of failed IVF. Maybe their child was one of the oh so many gunned down across this globe. Or maybe, just maybe, they never wanted to have a baby. Maybe they wanted to have a cat named Beyonce. Did you ever think about that? No, you didn't. But here's another thing. People with children will always tell you. It is never a secret. You're like, hi, my name is Maysoon. They're like, hi, I'm Shelly. I have 2 kids. They're 14 and 16. Their names are Timmy and Sally. Thank you. They will always tell you. But there's one question that's worse. Under no circumstances are you to ever ask another human being if they are pregnant, unless you see a skull coming out from between their legs. Then ambulance, let's do it, right? So I have one of those stomachs that always looks like I'm 5 months pregnant, like at all times. And I also travel I fly about 200 days a year for my stand-up comedy, which is apparently what you're watching right now. I'm a sit-down stand-up comic, it's fun. So I fly about 200 days a year, and I'm really excited to share this. I'm super special because I'm always randomly selected for extra screening.
We are not just attending a conference, we are co-creating the future of the Euro-Mediterranean region together. It's the launch of the Euro-Mediterranean Partnership, an ambitious vision of shared peace, prosperity, and cooperation between our shores. But beyond the numbers, what we truly honor today is the courage to lead the conversation.
Excellency, Foreign Minister of Albania, the Deputy Foreign Minister of Albania, with who we've been working as well a lot, the Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and High Representative of the UNAOC, the UN Alliance of Civilizations, the municipality representatives, and all the heads of network and friends, colleagues, members of civil society and honored guests. Thank you so much for being here today. To begin with, I would like to thank the government and the civil society of Albania for welcoming this forum. And also a big applause and thank you to our own team at the Anneleen Foundation. Culture and history are being erased in front of all our screens, big, small, TVs, mobiles, and in real time. And these horrors are met, or rather they are enabled by silence.
But also good memories of Tirana. Your Royal Highness, dear friends, honorable guests, on behalf of the city and all of the citizens of this really particular city, it's an honor to have you here. The Anneleen Foundation Forum 2025, here in this capital, which we proudly call the Mediterranean Capital of Culture and Dialogue 2025.
لو بقيت عمري كله أتخيل كيف تكون أو يكون عالم المكفوفين لما قدرت للوصول إلى
And the vibes? Awesome. It was filled with powerful panels, insightful conversations, and rich cultural exchanges. From deep dives into climate change.
When civil society is at its best, it's in the midnight, not early morning. And maybe this would be a good switch for the program. So having this address in midnight would have been much more exciting. Anyhow, for all of you surviving the night, I want to say welcome to Tirana, a city that has many layers of history and now, as we speak, is called the Mediterranean Capital of Culture and Dialogue. And beyond the title, which is quite something, I believe that what matters is the substance we succeed to create. And thank you for choosing Tirana to organize this meeting of yours and to speak about the Mediterranean, which, as we were chatting before with some old friends, seems to be in quite difficult moment. But on the other hand, I did not exaggerate with the difficult moment because I believe that in many ways the world has never been better in terms of the capacities to communicate, in terms of the speed of interaction, in terms of but in the meantime, we are witnessing an exponential downgrade of the capacity to listen. And this is something that seems to be quite challenging. Anyhow, on my side, I don't want to lecture you in any shape or form. I simply want to say that there is space and there is place for even small countries like ours to contribute and to play a role modestly but proudly. And on the other hand, for us in Albania, is blessed that we are a society where still religions coexist with no tension, where differences don't demand applause, but they are simply accepted. And on the other hand, we still know what it means to come through a very heavy isolation, to endure conflicts in the neighborhood, and to still choose openness and dialogue over resentment and lack of communication. As you may have seen in your first day, this is a city full of contradictions, as the Mediterranean are in itself. An area, a place, a space where things never stop changing, and where, thanks God, still hope never stops. Now it's obvious that we don't live in the perfect moment. We live in a quite complicated moment when, especially in Europe, something incredible is happening under our watch, and it has even become normalized. The discourse, and unfortunately followed by very, very concrete steps in terms of rearming, in terms of weaponry, in terms of increasing exponentially our spending to build a military machine that should protect us. Sometimes it's not even clear from whom, but it is what it is, and there is not much space and there is not much room to ask for conversation that might open up to some different paths of understanding, and might help to realize that we don't live anymore in a continent that could just rely in its sentiment of dominance. We are not anymore a continent where the biggest share of the world GDP was created, and in a continent where the leading processes in all aspects of the whole share. And on the rest is 88%. And the rest is more and more interested in dialogue, in development, in cooperation, while we seem to have been stuck in a different place. And getting out from this place is really very challenging, very, very challenging. Anyhow, what is the most comfortable, the most uncomfortable part of it is that dialogue has less and less supporters and more skeptics in Europe, which is crazy. And while, of course, dialogue is slow and it can be frustrating, it's, I think, the only tool we have and we should always believe in, even when it seems useless. And maybe even more when it seems useless, which is not about giving up, but it's about insisting more. Of course, it's very clear that if hate speech is not freedom of expression,